I will call to order the Parks and Urban Forestry Board meeting for September 19th at 6:27. And do a roll call. Carol?
Oh, Carol side.
And then 2 new members.
Oh, Aubrey Short.
Okay.
Tim Poindexter.
So a quorum, and me, Stephen. All right, we will consider the approval of minutes for the last meeting of May 16th, 2024. You want to look at that?
Copy should be in your packets.
Okay.
Is that what I have here?
Yes, should
Okay.
be the same
That's good.
thing. If it's approved, he'll just need to sign.
So you want Stephen to sign this right here? Is that what you said?
Once it's approved,
Okay,
yes.
Stephen,
We'll go ahead and do entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Have a second?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Let's do a vote. All right, everybody votes yes. Approved. Okay. And I will sign.
Thank you.
All right. Number 3, introduction and welcome the new members to the board.
Yay!
Exciting. Welcome.
Thank you.
I've already done stuff.
We're so glad you guys
Yeah.
are here.
Exciting. Aubrey, if you want to say anything?
Oh, I don't know. I just joined to see what was going on here so I could get more involved, and I'm excited to kind of see how things roll here. Love it.
Awesome.
Are
Welcome.
you new to Guthrie?
No, I grew up here. I actually manage the Logan County Abstract American Eagle. I'm the main closer there, so I do all the closing manager there.
And what is it called?
Logan County Abstract American Eagle title. The title company. We do all the real estate closing. I do all the real estate closings. I manage that.
Wow.
That's where the drugstore used to be, or that same?
No, that's we're up on the hill across from the Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. That's
The
where I
rock
closed
building.
mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we're at. So we do all the abstracting, and then I do all the closings.
That's a very responsible job.
Yeah, been with the company about 9 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and I graduated from Guthrie. So
Wonderful.
yeah,
It's exciting.
We're glad you're here.
thank you.
Awesome. Tim?
I'm Tim Poindexter. I've been here 15-ish years. I grew up in Edmond, so I went to Oakdale. A neighbor, not a native, but I love it. But living in Edmond, it helps me. Having a history there helps me as a kid. I think it helps me appreciate Guthrie. I was on the Forestry board previously,
Oh,
so I have some. And I'm glad they merged them too, because we never had enough people to have a meeting.
Oh,
So,
good. So you can bring your knowledge from that over here.
that's right.
yeah.
That's really good.
It's exciting. Well, welcome back, kind of. Very cool. All right, everybody good?
You guys want to know us?
Oh yeah, yeah.
A little
Say
bit
some
about
things
everybody.
yourself.
Yeah.
I'm Jeremy Brown. I'm superintendent of the Parks Department and sexton of the Summit View Cemetery.
Okay, okay.
Tenny Maker, Public Works Director. JB's been with the city for about
Close to 10.
10 years almost. I've been with the city for about 30 years and been Public Works Director for 7.
Teddy, I don't know if you're such a fly-by-night. 30 years.
You're right.
Like, who has a job
know
for
if he's
30
gonna
years?
work out or
It's
not.
so,
Nowadays.
Do you think they're going to keep him, JB?
We'll see.
I don't know.
It's so awesome. I'm Carol Side, as I said, and I've been here 5.5 years. Moved here to be near my grandchildren. They live in Edmond, sadly, but close enough.
Yeah.
And I love Guthrie so much. I just wake up every day and say, I can't believe I get to live here. So.
I'm Stephen Harrison. I've been here for about 3 years. Always been a fan of the parks, big user. So wanted to get involved in the city, and my city councilman put me on the board. So I'm really excited to be here, and been here for a couple meetings now, so still kind of new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good.
Cool.
We have one other member, Martha Turner. She's absent tonight, but she's been very active in the board and stuff too. So Evelyn Nephew, she's not on this board anymore. No,
She
sir.
used to
No, okay.
be, when I first joined.
She used to
on
be.
Forestry
Yep.
board With you?
Well, maybe the website is dated. I thought it still had her list. No, it wasn't Forestry, but
Oh.
I was looking at this one
Oh,
at
okay.
one point, and I thought she was on there. but-
Was there anybody else on the forestry board with you that didn't transfer over?
Well, we did have one meeting where we had enough to meet, but that was the only one, the first one I went to.
Probably Roberta Burns, if I'm remembering, Tim.
Yeah.
Roberta Burns, she was on the long time member on the Forestry board, and then Mike Freeze.
See the one that owns the block?
Mhm.
Yeah, he was there. I
He was
remember.
actual tree arborist.
Yeah. He owns a little block, like about a few houses were over there in Highland Park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Very cool. All right, moving on to number 4, discussion and action on realigning of the board.
Staff just put this on the agenda because new members, and our chairperson, Van, who used to be our chair, he is no longer on the board, so opens up that position. With the new members on board and everything, we thought it'd be a good time to put this out there so that we can get a new chair, kind of get everything formal again.
Okay.
So should we nominate people? Is that the next
Yes.
step? Okay.
That would be our next step.
All right. Well, I would like to nominate Stephen to be the chairman of the board.
Okay. Appreciate that. Do we need a
Does somebody-
second?
Yeah,
Second.
I would.
Oh, I don't know anything about much, so I'm learning. So I will second that if you feel like that's a good choice.
He's a keeper, like these guys.
So,
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. We will go ahead and vote on that. And I need to abstain from that vote. Okay. I will abstain from this vote. All right.
So I vote yes.
I
Yes.
vote yes.
Okay.
That's 3.
All right.
our vice chair
All right.
position's open as well.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Martha for that position in absentia. And anybody like to?
I second.
Okay.
She's awesome.
We
I
did.
was gonna say she's awful, and it came out awful.
Oh.
She's awesome.
Awesome.
She's great.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. We
Okay.
can go ahead and vote on that. Go ahead and vote.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. That's 4.
So with that opens up our secretary position.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And I know someone who's really good at administration. Aubrey.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Would you consider that? Because I would love to nominate you.
Yeah, I sure can. I
Okay.
mean, I want to know what goes into that, but I
Okay.
would definitely do it.
We'll share a little bit. So Shelby, my assistant, helps out tremendously with that. She puts together the agendas. If you keep up with the minutes throughout the meetings and then turn them into her, she can produce those and get them put out there and typed up for the next upcoming meeting and everything. So mainly just follow through the meetings and keep up with the minutes throughout the meetings and
Okay.
stuff.
That'll work. I can do that.
Well, then I'd like to nominate Aubrey to be secretary, please.
I will second that. All right, and let's go and vote.
Yay!
All right, that's 3.
I'm not good at this, and so Martha's always threatening to make me do it. And I'm like, please, please. I'm not administrative. So I'm so
Yeah, I
glad
wouldn't be
you're-
good at it either.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've figured all that out, moving on to action, or number 5, discussion and possible approval of Coffee Creek Church planting a tree near the trailhead at Liberty Lake in memory of Tony Lansbury?
Lounsbury.
A veteran and former volunteer on the Liberty Lake Trails. Timmy?
Okay, so we've been approached by a gentleman, Clark Farley. He would like to, in honor of this gentleman, plant a tree out by Liberty Lake, somewhere in the vicinity of the equestrian trails. It's our understanding from the information he's provided that he was a huge support to the equestrian trails and help on cleanup of those and keeping them clean and stuff. So he would like to do this in honor of him. We thought we'd bring this before you guys as we've combined the forestry board. We normally try to keep kind of part of it. JB has went out and he's kind of picked a location that he felt was pretty decent, and I will turn it over to him and let him share that information with you
So,
guys.
I've done the best I could on getting a picture. Are any of you familiar with the trailhead where it's at, Liberty.
It's what is it when you come down the entrance?
Mhm.
It's over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, and then there's their parking. There, you can see, this is where the little, I don't know what you call that, you tie your
post,
reins to.
Hitching post.
Hitching post, hitching post. Well, anyways, there's a good clear spot there. There's already trees that we have to mow around, so it wouldn't create a problem for us. And as far as what kind of,
You guys
we're gonna help
know
pick out what
kind.
kind of trees too. I've got a whole list of them that would make,
I don't believe he listed anything here on his email that he would do, but I would just try to recommend that we keep it a native of our area.
Mhm.
They would
Yeah.
grow the best, so
alright,
Is he wanting to put some sort of like a plaque on it?
he didn't,
that I
Didn't
don't
really.
know.
No.
he didn't explode into any of
Gotcha.
that with us. He just would like to plant a tree and they.
Plant a tree by the trailhead. So we found a spot that hopefully would work out good for him and for us. You know, so,
Was it a young man?
no, I think it was an older gentleman.
No, he was actually, it says
Oh,
Tony
it's
was
this
a
guy?
veteran and heavily involved in trail maintenance at Liberty Lake, often working
He's young.
alongside volunteer Julie Cameron. He was a 23
Oh, God.
year Boeing employee and raised his family in Oklahoma City metro area since 2010. I believe the planting a tree in Tony's memory at Liberty Lake, where he ran regularly, would be a fitting tribute to his life and his love of the outdoors.
He looks like he's about my age.
He was age of 45.
Exactly. Right on the money. So,
Oh,
I
wow.
think that would be great. I think that would be great to honor him and
yeah.
show, yeah, something long lasting.
Yeah, that spot we picked, so it'll have plenty of space by itself. So it'll
Right,
be
it's outside of the tree line.
individualized and won't be just in a group of the rest of the trees, you know what I mean? So I think it's,
So maybe with the board's recommendation, we will, staff will reach back out to this gentleman and schedule a time for the planting and make a recommendation native to our species of trees around here. And then once that's scheduled, we'll get it back to the members, and that way maybe we can all be there for the planting of the tree.
That'd be awesome.
All would be very helpful with our Tree City that we do every year, so.
Yeah. With fall just right around the corner.
Yeah, it's way better to plant them in the fall.
Yeah.
than-
We've held off on this. This came to us in June,
Yeah, that would have been bad to plant it
Mhm.
then.
so
Not as good.
we've actually had him waiting on an answer, so.
which is not the only tree we're wanting to
Yeah,
plant.
exactly. Trees coming around. Okay, so
Good.
do we need to vote on that as far as recommendation or just the?
It wouldn't hurt. That way it's,
So
Yeah.
approval of recommending this tree going in, helping them out. Right,
I'm in favor of it.
okay. Motion to entertain a second?
Second.
Okay, let's vote.
Yay.
All right, we're all good. Four. All right. So number 6, discussion and update on the green team and setting up the next parks project. So the green team is basically a little group of volunteers made of about 10 to 15 people in the community, and just trying to help out the parks department with projects that they just want to get to but can't get to because of various reasons. So the first project that we did was painting the mineral wells bathrooms indoors,
Oh.
inside.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
We were originally going to try to paint the whole building, but there was little rain issues that morning.
So did the volunteers paint it?
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. The outside or
The inside.
inside?
So JB got all the paint, all the equipment set up, and we showed up a Saturday morning and just painted for about 3 or 4 hours.
So they donated the labor and the city bought the,
Correct.
that's a pretty good bargain.
Yeah, it was great. I thought it worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing that we want to work on is painting the outside of it.
Oh, okay.
Now that the weather's coming around better. And we also want to replace a tree. There was a pine tree that was in front of the building that recently died. So we want to replace that. Mineral Wells is unique in the respect that it is historic. So it's kind of trying to work within the limits of and respect their requirements. So
Yep.
the paint color is approved. It fits within that, and the tree itself is within the parks
So it has
no
to be another
pines.
pine tree since the pines
Correct.
died.
Yes, that's what we're trying
Does
to
it
go for.
have to be a pine, JB?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have.
Are the
to be.
pines
It
problematic?
was just a recommendation because it's what's there and it's done well there.
Right.
But there's a lot of other things that could do well there.
Okay.
I would love to see a shade tree. I just feel
Yeah.
like the more shade trees we have,
I know, like in the village, they were having disease issues with the pines, but we're not in Guthrie.
The ice storm killed that thing.
The ice.
Mm-hmm.
And never recovered it. So it went from an ice storm to a drought.
The
Just-
extreme, yeah.
And that happened to several trees that are in the park. If you go in there, there's more that happened.
Well, maybe we can discuss that further and figure out what kind of tree would work best there, have some options and figure out, and go from
Yeah,
there.
it doesn't matter that
So-
much.
Yeah, it looks like we're good.
JB, so I have some questions.
Uh-huh.
So, like at Walmart, I buy my trees and they're great and they turn out really well. Could citizens just buy some trees inexpensively and give them to the city as donations?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to buy one, and I think Stephen probably wants to buy one. We've got people we can say, wouldn't you like to buy a tree? Like $45, done. I would love to help my city that way.
Yeah, the
Just buy
main
a
thing
bunch
is
of
just, approving where we're gonna put them.
Exactly, and we would leave that up to you. We're not just gonna go out there and plant a tree in the middle of the
I
night.
know you're doing.
But if that would be okay, they're just so reasonable. And I feel like most people would be like, yeah,
You just
I'd
gotta
love
be
to do
prepared to
that.
get your picture taken.
Why?
Because you donate a tree, we're
Oh,
gonna take a
Lord,
picture
help
of you
me.
with your tree.
I
Tree
have to
City.
wear a mask.
Tree City, any documentation like that we can
Would be
get
helpful.
really
Well,
supports
I
Tree
think
City.
Jan wanted to play, I
Yeah,
mean,
she's
we have
interested.
people that want it, like a lot of the people who play pickleball with us. They would, we could just like boom, boom, boom. We can give you 5, 6, 7 trees.
So,
We can figure something out.
that's a good thing. And we got a couple of spots, I'm sure right now we
That
can
you
put them,
could
but
use them.
next fall,
Yeah.
by next fall, we're gonna have a lot of these dead trees.
Mm.
It's one of the winter projects we're gonna be doing is getting rid of all these dead trees.
Got it.
And so there'll be more room to look at for possibilities.
Okay. Well, and Walmart usually gets a bumper crop in the spring.
Yeah.
So would that, what?
Well, I mean, when you plant in the spring, they have to survive a hot summer, and our winters
You'd
are more
rather-
mild.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to plant them where the dead trees have to be removed. Is that why you're mentioning?
Well, maybe, or close by, or just,
Oh,
just.
okay. Well, I mean, we'll be happy to get them whenever you say. So what would
like-
you
Like
prefer?
you're saying, fall time is the best time.
I
to
agree.
But
plant.
Walmart doesn't do it that way. It's what you said, they buy them in the spring. I mean, I guess because people buy them in the spring. Yeah, but
They
they're-
do.
They're not thinking of Oklahoma.
I know, but I've had them turn out really, really well.
Yeah, it can work, but
Yeah.
to me, you'd pick the better
Always
option,
better.
not the more challenging one.
Yeah,
I
So
think
the thing
there
If
is,
you wanna be proactive, you have to find the trees.
yeah,
That's gonna be our problem.
yeah.
I think there is, other options. I think Tractor Supply maybe has
Oh.
trees as well. I don't know
Okay.
what all types.
What did you say, Jim?
Fall trees, they'll have trees.
Well, they will? At Tractor Supply?
So-
Perfect.
I think a recommendation from staff would be you guys, if once you get a group that's willing to do this and make that generous donation, we put it on the agenda to accept the donation as an item on the agenda, and
Okay.
we'll, at that meeting, set that time of planning and everything up. We'll maybe have a better idea of what types of trees that's donated and things of that nature.
Okay. And now this is a total off-the-wall question, but would we ever consider fruit trees? Is that a nightmare for you? Because I thought it'd be so fun for kids to like be able to come and pick an apple or pick a peach or whatever. I don't know, I just thought it
Yeah, I
would
don't
be
know.
fun.
I mean, how do you feel about that, Denny? Because
I don't have,
really have any problem with it, but
I don't have no issues of the fruit trees. I think there's a few that's been planted down around the front of the water treatment plant, if I recall correctly.
uh-huh.
Some
Right.
things that we might keep in mind is, certain trees are considered what they would call, what we relate to as trash trees.
Yes.
They drop things
Yes,
of
that's
different
what I
nature.
was
and
afraid would cause you
you,
trouble, that's
um,
why I asked.
yeah.
They leave their
Yeah,
Pods and-
falls on
pods,
the ground.
pines, things of that nature
Yeah.
behind, makes it a little bit difficult to mow or things of that nature,
And track
or
bugs
sling them out
when
in
it's rotten
traffic, or
fruit.
we would want to definitely keep that in you know, my
Is a
as
nut
we were
tree a
selecting
better fit?
trees. So
A nut tree?
we have lots of pecans
Yeah,
around,
there-
native.
There's walnuts, pecans in there.
walnuts.
The flats. See
I
people
mean-
picking all the time.
Plant like some raspberry, mulberry bushes.
Mhm.
That would be a little bit easier
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
too.
We have a lot of crepe myrtles, things of that different nature. I mean, that we can scatter out throughout our parks and stuff to make them more.
And
Pleasant.
particularly child, like for a child to have something to do when they get there, like to pick. Like I love that idea.
I mean, I used to love eating them off the bushes, and my grandma had
Exactly.
them grown down her house. We eat them all the
Exactly.
time.
That's a
I don't know if it would
great
encourage kids to eat other kinds of berries they shouldn't be, but.
What do you, oh, like poisonous berries?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't they?
Maybe in some of the parks, things that I would maybe keep in mind with that is the flowering of these may attract bees.
Mhm.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, we
Yeah, we
already,
could plant
from
them
time to
far
time,
away,
have
further
issues
from
with
the
those,
playground.
you know, with
Mhm.
trash cans and things, getting
Mhm.
the soda cans and bees, but just things to think about, but.
And maybe, I know we're gonna talk about it on number 8, about the inventory, the tree inventory list, but maybe that can kind of tie into this conversation about what
definitely.
trees
Oh,
would
perfect.
work here and what trees need to be replaced.
Most
And, you
definitely.
know, So, but we'll get there at 8. Are we good on?
Well, I had a question on the green team. Are they more of a group that does projects sporadically, or do they have like an ongoing
It's
pattern?
semi-regularly. It's basically knock out one project and start talking to the Parks Department and figuring out what the next project's gonna be, finishing up this one. The goal is to kind of work on all the parks a little bit each time, and depending on their priority list, and if it's painting bathrooms, okay, if it's planting trees, if it's painting gazebos, if it's planting flowers, whatever it may be that they could use.
And they
help
work as a
with.
team.
Yeah, you know, and it's, we just started. We did our
Well,
first one,
at
so-
Mineral Wells, the flower bed at the front, not the one in the back with the water, that was cared for the whole season by, I don't know who she is, but I assume she's a volunteer. That
That is a separate group.
Yeah, well, Mrs. Hurley done it for many, many, many years. And about halfway through the season, she gave that up.
Oh, she did. Well, it
And
still
that's why
looked
you
pretty
see-
cared for the whole season.
That's why you seen it start getting overgrown.
Well, I
and
didn't
stuff.
notice that, but I was comparing it to the one at the front, and to my knowledge, it never got weeded. Eventually, the weeds have got weed eated or something, but
Yeah, Mrs.
the
Hurley-
green team is more big projects you do as a team and then leave.
I mean, that one was more, I think somebody else was kind of involved
There is.
there, so
Yeah,
we
there's
were
a-
trying to respect them as far as, you know.
There is a group that
Our master gardeners.
ongoing, it's
Yeah.
master gardeners.
The
okay.
master gardeners, they take care of several flower beds up at the library, as
Yeah, I know they're
well
in the
as
library.
the ones there on the corner at Harrison. All of those at Harrison and Division. They maintain that flower bed right there on the
Oh, yeah,
corner,
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of those underneath the trees. They just recently took over what Miss Hurley gave up, so they're
Yeah,
kind
I
of.
wasn't criticizing. I was
Yeah.
stating that one.
Regrouping there,
That
so-
one looked cared for the whole season. It's just, to me, the one that you see when you drive in is every
Mm-hmm.
bit as important as the beautiful one in the back, you know, or further back.
And at Highland, Tenny, were the master gardeners helping with the ones around the sign?
I believe so, yes.
I thought
Well, the master gardeners, they approached me about, they've more than once, but it's like the education and then the ongoing commitment to keeping the education up. You know, to me, we need a group where you can just be practical and weed and not have to,
Yeah, definitely.
you know, be educated and then commit to it. And
I think the green team kind of fills that hole where it's like, it's more of a
Amateurs.
ragtag group, yeah.
That's-
yeah, well,
Just
that's the
home
word I was
gardeners,
looking for,
it's-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
so maybe there might be the green team, they might want a commitment where, and they could do it, it could be a commitment, and they do it as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think wherever we can help, whether it's pulling weeds with them or painting bathrooms or, you know, trying to figure out where we could help and, you know, go from there and, yeah.
To expand on the green team, he actually got this thing going and kick-started. He took lead on that. It's been very successful. We've only had the one event right now that they've helped out with, but anytime we can get groups like that to help these guys, they are swamped. They mow roughly 500 acres during mowing season. Very, very hard to turn that rotation, as well as preparing for many events throughout the parks and the lakes and holidays and things of that nature to make sure they're ready for everybody. Yeah, he kind of kicked that thing off, and it's been great. So definitely, you can feel free to
Or always
visit
looking
with
for
him.
more people.
Oh, I would do it.
Okay, good.
Do you do it? The green team? You do? How did you recruit the people?
His charm and good looks.
Just talking around, word of mouth.
Just
and,
word of
like,
mouth?
posting, yeah. And,
Old-fashioned way?
Yeah, exactly. And like, we had a couple people from the city help. Eddie put it out there to the city employees, and a couple showed up. And yeah, just some family members, you know, with their kids helping. And the goal is to kind of grow it as much as possible. And
Maybe we could
try to help.
create a Facebook page for it and try to grow people so they can keep up with when they can show up and help out with the events.
Yeah, that would be great. Any and all help for it would be
One
awesome.
thing's for sure, you'll never run out of work.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Is like, you know, there's a list
That's
of-
the importance behind the communication between our parks and the green team, is that we make sure the projects that's picked is within our budget, and we're able to purchase the items needed and things of that nature, because these guys do work on a restricted budget for the most part. And I mean, we would love to be able to paint every single thing, that all the facilities that we have, but it's just not, our budgets aren't built that way. So
Yeah, another thing is the bathrooms at Manor Park, I noticed, are they having issues? People are going in and trashing them. It's
Yeah.
looking like that.
That's why they have gray
All the time.
hair.
Yeah.
It's an everyday thing.
Oh.
yeah, all the time.
You go in, you clean it up, they come right back and do it again.
Like
So-
trashing it?
They're like filling the toilet with paper.
Vandalizing it.
Yeah.
Starting fires on the.
Yeah, 'cause we
and
go to
during
that
the
park a
winter time,
lot.
they always start fires on the floor.
So are they locked at
come
night, the
on.
bathrooms, or they're open?
No, they're open.
Maybe they need to be restricted. I mean, that might help a little.
Well, it would help a lot.
But you can't do that?
Well,
You
We
to go to
have. I
council?
mean, we have.
yes, we have.
We've closed them through the winter because it becomes a situation where people will go in and just start living in them.
Well, that's true. So, well, parks do that now. They close bathrooms. Is it closed in the winter now, or?
Not on a say regular basis. It's just when stuff's
cold.
gotten bad,
Yeah,
we went in and just locked them up.
yeah.
You know, if we're not having as much trouble, maybe the troublemakers are somewhere else.
So you
We'll leave them
Play it by
unlocked.
ear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be like an expense. I'm just shooting an idea out here, but like, what if you had like timed locks?
Yeah, that would be awesome. We have them downtown and the ones
Yeah.
across from
Yeah,
City
you do.
Hall,
Yeah.
and those are great. I would love it, but
Well, how would we get that done?
that's another budget thing. You know, I don't know.
Do you know how much it'd cost?
Somebody could raise money for
Yeah, I was
it.
thinking
Yeah.
we could raise it. How much would it cost?
I don't know.
You
I'd
don't
have
know?
to look into that.
Maybe we can add that as something to.
Or supplement it
look
even
at
if we
and
couldn't
do.
raise 100%. yeah.
Maybe that would help you guys if they were on timed locks, so you maybe weren't getting so much damage
It
to
would.
them.
It would save you guys a lot of money in the
Yeah,
long
yeah,
run,
it
probably,
would.
right?
Yeah, we wouldn't be replacing porcelain sinks in Highwood bathroom once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
Can you get those metal sinks?
I just
He read his
started
mind.
looking for those today. We're gonna switch to the ones that are like in mineral wells. Those were donated to us years ago, so I'm trying to find some like them that they heavy duty mount to the walls. You can't bust them up. You know, even if you took a hammer to them, it'd still
Yeah.
be there and useful.
Yeah.
So, and looking into that.
That would be great.
So staff could maybe continue to gather some information, bring that back as maybe some items for the green team to explore as far as future projects.
Perfect.
Well, I know like at Lowe's and Home Depot, you can submit and maybe get approved for donations for community things. Sue DeSharm is my neighbor, and she's the expert on that.
Oh, she's amazing.
awesome.
So if you give me your card, I'll.
Yeah.
Or you know how to get in touch with Sue, Neighborhood Solutions.
Oh, yeah, I do know.
Yeah,
She knows the procedure. Lowe's is easier than Home Depot. I know.
That's what
Sure.
she said.
So, us as a municipality, we can't go after the donations. That's where
The green
Citizens.
team or
the
the,
citizen, the
The
green,
green
team.
team.
Yeah.
The green team.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then present it to the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Your plate gets fuller.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. This is why we like new blood.
Yes.
This is because you're thinking outside the box.
Totally.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Well, I know. Like when there's a budget and the red tape, well, I could see on your face.
Yeah. It gets complicated.
Because I would love to do, I mean, that would be great. It really would.
Or even getting it donated is not that simple. But yeah, we have to use the green team. But yeah, but still, we can get it done. Yeah.
Let's do it right. I think if that is all the discussions and updates for Green Team, Moving on to discussion and update on the ferry houses in Highland Park, possibly coming up with a more permanent way to install to deter theft and damage.
Yeah, so they did build a heavier duty one. So the other ones were some really, really thin stuff. They had a little metal deal coming down and like this much concrete in the ground. So they were super easy to destroy. So just beefing that up, put like a bag of concrete in there. I mean, like really put them in the ground would help. The box that has their flyers or whatever they are in there, I want to that pole that I put up, that cedar log, I want to put it over by the chief's house. Martha ain't here to talk to her about it, but that's kind of what my thinking is there. They destroyed that thing first weekend it was out. And so maybe if it was over by the chief's house, like by them bushes, maybe it would deter people.
So are we all familiar with what the ferry houses are? So what we have is in Highland Park, we've got the series of trails, walking trails. Martha had put together approximately 10, 15 of these, and they were placed throughout the
Ferry there.
throughout the walking trail on the edge of the trail, as little houses down at the base of trees just off of the edge of the trail. There's at the trailhead or at the beginning of the trail, there was like a mailbox that had a pamphlet in there. This is a pretty big deal, my understanding. A lot of walking trails have them. People will go walk the trails, they'll grab the paper, and then look for these ferry houses along the trail, and it promotes reading with young kids. There's a little story that goes along with the ferry and what that little ferry, just a little story that goes along with it. And they walk the trail, exercising obviously, promotes reading. Very neat little deal. So Martha did about 15 or so of these, and they were placed out, and within 2 days, the box that had the letters was in it. All but 3 of these were vandalized, destroyed, come up missing. So we have now got all of the ferry houses rebuilt. Martha hasn't got the actual ferries placed in there. It's a sticker that goes on that behind the door. You open the door, you see which ferry it is, you get to read about that ferry, and then move on and find the next location, the next little ferry house. So I think she's just looking for ideas, making sure this time when we put them back, ideas of maybe strengthening that. We may still be faced with this. It is one of those situations that we as staff know we will have to continue to just fight this battle until we can win. As I shared at our last meeting, and that's what we've experienced, and that's how we do it. We've really got the word out in multiple places about the ferry houses. We figure this time when we place them out, we will try to get that word out again so that people know that they're out there. It is an actual little project for kids and families to explore and learn and exercise. Very neat addition, I feel like, to our parks and trails. So
is the plan to put them out now when it gets cold, or to wait till the weather gets nice again?
I think we place them back out as soon as we're able to get them back out there so that we can start getting the use out of them. Most definitely. I think mainly she's looking for additional ideas, if any. I know they go down towards the base of a tree, so it kind of limits us on how we want to disturb that tree. You don't necessarily want to, as I've shared before with a few of you, you don't want to screw it to the tree. I mean, we don't want to damage the tree of anything of that nature. So we came up with the idea of the small stake, attaching it to that stake. Maybe more concrete at the base of it or something of that nature would help secure it. And staff I think we're willing to do whatever we need to do.
Yeah.
We were just simply looking for maybe ideas, new ideas if there was any.
I know that there's not enough money to put cameras out there, but could you put a sign up that says you're on camera? You know, even if it's a lie, maybe it would deter. Unless they call your bluff on it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, we've had actual cameras in some of our parks because our vandalism has gotten so bad from time to time, and that is definitely something that we are not opposed of doing.
Yeah, maybe make an
Because I
example out
had
of
wondered
somebody.
about that too,
So-
if we could put a camera.
I mean, to me, there's such little money and so many challenges. This is probably not worth messing with. And maybe if it's done, it should be done somewhere where it's visible. Because isn't that part of the issue is that,
And they're pretty visible, really. I mean, you're on the walking trail. They're less than, some of them's less than 5-10 feet right off the edge of the walking
Yeah,
trail.
And the
It's
thing is, on that, the bathrooms are directly in view of the chief's house. And they still go and completely vandalize them, busting up stuff. I mean, you know that's gotta be loud. They don't care.
no, they don't care.
They're not worried
I don't
about-
think there's anything we can do. It's
They're
going to happen
not worried
again.
about getting caught.
Yeah, they're not worried about getting caught. And that's why I suggested, well, if it's going to happen, wait till the weather gets pretty again. But yeah, I guess you could argue fall's pretty, but yeah, it's going to happen. They're going to get vandalized again. So
Well, we're just not willing to just give up.
how many times are you going to struggle with it?
I think we can keep.
Because this is the first time.
yeah, this was the first
Like,
time.
would 6 be enough?
We'll see.
We'll see.
2 years from now, we might have this struggle all over again,
Yeah.
brand new struggle. So you just never know. I mean, I
Well,
think
I think
anytime.
accepting it, if you're going to do it, accept that it's challenging. You can't really
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah. I think anytime we are able to add additional amenities to our trails for, educational purposes, things of that nature, to get people out to exercise, to get people out and about, I think it's a great idea. And us as staff, we're very supportive behind it. So
Was this a grant or is it just something that someone came up with
No,
and
this
donated?
is totally,
just something that Martha, one of our Parks
Yeah.
Board members, came up with. They are.
and so far paid for totally by other people, not the
Private.
I mean, I appreciate, getting kids to read and the physical activity, but like in Edmond, I guess it's still this way. Like they had this is years ago, I guess it's still this way where they had the exercises you do. And I mean,
Our new trail that we I say new trail, it hasn't even been constructed yet, but we have, once the elbow trails does take place and kick off and we start construction, there's multiple exercise stations built in that. There is story time stations, which is just a page out of a storybook. You read that page, you continue on down the trail, then you read page 2. For kids, we have
Great.
multiple amenities to get people
Are
out
they
and
putting
about.
trails over in the elbow? Is that what's happening?
We have a
Okay.
grant that we can most definitely put on an agenda to bring you guys up to speed on. It's currently been held up by a cultural resource study. So until the cultural resource study is been finalized, we cannot actually start construction on that. So
but it's been granted. The money was
the
given.
money's been granted.
that's
yes.
great.
Is there any paved trails?
Yes.
Or- okay. Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it will get us to the entrance of the elbow across the creek and just a little ways into the elbow. It's kind of a phase 1
Wow.
part of it.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I think the goal too is to have historic markers
They'll
along
be
the way as
historic.
well
Yeah.
to read and
Oh.
Absolutely.
know the
Well,
knowledge.
that's a good way. And,
Yeah.
those will be those big metal.
That's
probably
it
way
may
too
be,
early,
we'll see when funding,
Yeah.
when we
I mean,
get
this
there. to
is
see
so
it.
cute and quaint. It's just calling out for a teenage boy to vandalize it. I just don't think there's anything.
And this
can
is
be
a
done.
pretty big deal, my understanding. I wish Martha was here
It is. There's a
to
lot of
maybe
kids that talk
explain
about it.
this, but multiple parks throughout the community and state, in my understanding, has done this. It's real similar to the Pokemon thing. I think people go all over just to
Maybe it should be
different things of
instead
that
of
nature.
this thing that's easy to vandalize, like a sign that's permanent that like not a literal little house, but the image of a house. That they couldn't do so much with that. Could
I think that's a good option to think outside the
or
box.
embed this onto the sign, or something permanent because it's just going to happen again.
I wish there was a way to attach it, like a door to the tree, maybe, and then, but that, I don't know, I'd mess the tree up.
Yeah, put more cement. I don't think that's really a solution because this is what's they're going to go after.
That's something to think about, I guess, for
Yeah.
some different options.
I
They
think-
are cute, though. We've walked them and walked the trails and seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And she teamed up with, I think, the Job Corps and high school.
Yeah, there was multiple.
So she-
The art class at the high school, I think, did the actual drawings of the ferries, and Job Corps assisted the first time. Another volunteer assisted doing the second ones here that we've got. So it's been a group effort,
Yeah,
which
citywide.
is a great thing.
Yeah, that's great.
All of those people are willing to keep on fighting the fight, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they're the ones using the time and energy to manage it, that seems reasonable. But
Yeah,
like
they-
using city funds and energy,
They mostly are. I put up a post for them and put a box on it.
okay,
That's all I
that
did.
if it's them, you know,
Martha
That's
installed
reasonable.
every one of those.
Yeah, she did.
well, okay, that's reasonable. Yeah, but I don't think city staff should be of all the challenges, like a funding. That a lot needs to be put into it from the city. Then.
All right. I think we can continue that discussion later as far as different options of securing the doors, the ferry doors. If there's any other discussion on that? All right, we will move on to 8, discussion on taking steps to update the city's tree inventory list in our parks.
So what I did, I had printed out several copies. I tried to pick one of our smaller parks. I think there's one more over here, JD.
Do you have enough?
Yeah, and I can make more copies if need. I picked one of our smaller parks to kind of reflect back on. We have an actual Parks and Trails master plan over there. This came out of it. It addresses each, it's in one of those books, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I pulled Lions Park out of it for us to kind of look through. It is most definitely one of our smaller parks. You can kind of see what it does. It gives a slight article about the park, some history about the park, the capital improvements. This is quite dated, I think back 2000.
That was the last time it's
Um,
been touched.
The tree inventory that was actually brought up, so every tree that is within our parks, we have had in the past inventoried. So it would be very important if we could get that back updated as you go through here. There at one point was 76 trees in this park that was actually inventoried, and they were inventoried as you get further through here. They were all numbered on a map, where the location was. It shows the type of the tree, the diameter, the height, the age, condition of the tree, and, if it was removed or whatever, and it gives us that full inventory of when we do have maybe trees donated. We can go back to this master plan to see, okay, looks like in Lions Park, we've lost 3 really nice shade trees. We should look at replacing those trees and have us instant places that we could go straight to replace trees and have a better idea of what types of trees we maybe would need to be trying to look forward to replace.
Well, this is very comprehensive and very informative as far as what trees, where they're at. I think it's really helpful to see the page talking about its condition at the time. It'd be interesting to see where they're at now.
So-
And,
I think on staff's side of it, if the forestry board would be interested in maybe picking one of the parks, I would recommend most definitely one of the smaller ones so that we kind of take small steps here to get started. And again, maybe the green team take off and try to do this. I could definitely have Shelby try to build us this form. We have none of this data in our computers, so it was again back 2000. We would definitely need to get these documents all built back so that we can get our parks and trails master plans brought up to speed. We've had lots of upgrades to some of our parks, the splash pads, none of that's in our master plans, and new playground equipment and stuff of that nature. So
be helpful.
it could be real helpful.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I think talking about that more going in depth as far as how the green team could help, looking at the trees and helping
Yeah.
assist wherever we can, or
Is the goal here for someone to go through and just go through this inventory currently and see if the trees are still there, update? And then what about adding new?
Most definitely.
Okay.
We would add any new growth that we have in our parks, update the existing if it's still there. If it's was there and gone, we could make note of that, and that way we know, that tree could be replaced to add adequate shade throughout the parks.
That'd be great.
Tree inventory is extremely important through our tree city, and being able to share that we have a full inventory of all of our trees and the shade that we provide throughout the park and the
Right.
city.
So, just a quick question. How would you go about determining the species of the tree if you don't know?
I'm sure
There are
apps out there
There
that
are
we can
that you
get,
can use just to do, okay.
You
just
take
a picture of a leaf or something, or the bark, and it can most of the time determine that
Gotcha.
for us.
Okay.
that probably didn't exist when they did it in 2000.
Yeah,
It's a
I
lot
was-
easier
No.
now.
Not like it does now.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate to really have like some full tree arborists on our boards in the past that was very knowledgeable and brought a lot to the boards. So,
Helpful.
yeah.
So maybe we can just make a list of where to start. Start with Lions Park, and then.
So Aubrey, like this is an app called Picture This,
huh.
and you take a picture of, like, I don't know if this would work for, it's fake, but
It's probably like plastic.
Probably will work though.
Okay,
Trees
I wonder
probably
if it
still reflect ivy of some sort.
that's what I'm thinking. Sorry, you can't see it right now, but I'm gonna take a picture of
That's
that
right.
ivy. Okay, now they're scanning it, and it says English ivy.
Mhm.
And then it
That's really
says what it is. It looks healthy, like, because sometimes it'll say it needs
It's
water.
pretty
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Fairly perfect.
This is
Right.
really helpful.
Okay, that's a neat
Yeah,
app.
it's
Okay.
called Picture This,
Yeah.
and there are other ones too. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's ways of doing that. It's good for our boards to, we become educated on different types of trees that we got, and we learn which ones really thrive well in our parks and in our climate around here and stuff. So just helps us further make recommendations in the future when people do come to the board or give donations or recommendations or something to maybe plant trees downtown. We have a better idea of what's going to thrive the best, what's
Sure.
going to maybe not be such of a
I mean,
high maintenance tree, or some that maybe have deep roots rather than roots that's going to spread out and damage sidewalks.
Sure.
Different things of that nature. So.
and then also, Tenny, at the county fair, the people there that train the master gardeners, I feel like we could ask them to, like, can you give us some advice if we were going to plant trees? Because they know what thrives here, because it's a challenging place
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
grow anything.
We've reached out to the extension office down
Is that
there.
what it's called?
And got advice in the past too from time to time.
Okay.
So most definitely, we utilize all the resources we can from time to time. So.
I wasn't thinking of it, but when you're talking about obtaining trees, I know from being on the Forestry board, and one way you can get them is the nurseries will sometimes donate their imperfect trees, the ones that are crooked.
Oh.
So if I were able to do that, is there some kind of red tape where they have to donate it to the green team rather than the city, or can they just give them to the city directly? Or do you want crooked trees? Do you want imperfect? Will you take the imperfect trees?
I mean, if there's something that's not going to require a whole bunch of attention to maybe try to straighten out or something of that nature.
Well, to be
most
basically
definitely,
accepting that it's
Sure.
imperfect, a little crooked, or yeah.
But
Could they donate it directly though to the city? Do you know? Or
I could look into
is it better to have it donated to the green team?
Probably.
It's
yeah.
easier.
It's easier.
Okay, easier. Let's go for easy. Okay.
It's easier.
Okay. Thank you.
Does Red Dirt often get involved at all?
We have. I mean, Red Dirt has just recently made an offer to donate some, or wasn't a full donation of flowers for some of the flower beds.
Ooh,
That's
that's nice.
They were wanting to do, help me out, JB, they were wanting to do actual flower pots or something scattered out throughout downtown, and there was a kind of a lot to it. It's a historic thing. It has to go
Oh,
through the historic
yeah.
board and commission for
Oh, gosh.
approval, and kind of one thing led into another, and then who handles all the maintenance of it and watering
So
of
it fell
them,
apart.
and yeah, kind of fell apart at
Because
that point. But
containers need to be watered in this climate like
Yes.
twice a day.
Well, also the type of container because of the district and
and the city was going to have to purchase the actual containers and stuff of that nature. So
Yeah.
we just wasn't in a position at that time to move forward with it. So
so people donating it wanted them in pots. That was where the
it
pots.
wasn't a full blown donation either. There was
Oh,
still
okay.
some purchase behind it. So
But they are helping with the flowers at like Mineral Wells Park and other flower.
In the beds?
Oh, I don't know
I don't
about
know.
I
that.
think they have a sign up there.
They may be.
Yeah, I think at least.
that'd be through the master gardeners
Yeah,
or not.
I think
You
they
know,
work
I don't
together.
know if they've reached out to them and done things or
I
not.
know there's a sign at Mineral Wells from the gal that's got the real nice greenhouse on Division.
Mhm.
Terracotta.
Yeah, terracotta.
Yeah.
They're
yeah.
related.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
okay.
dirt and terracotta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's the
I
same
didn't know
company?
it is.
Okay.
Did not know that.
Cool.
So yeah, apparently
But-
they don't have flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Tree inventory, I kind of shared that with you. You guys can read through that. Feel free to
Yeah, it's
look it
really
over,
nice.
see what it really consists of.
Yeah.
Staff on our end, we'd be willing to, build the documents so that if weekend was chosen to go start an inventory update, kind of where we're at.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can talk more about that, figure out the details on
This
that.
is great.
Very good.
All right.
I had a tree concern before we wrap up. The older ladies at the park, the medicine park across from City Hall. I guess the agreement is they care for it, but it's city property.
Apothecary garden.
Yeah. The tree back there, she told me the story, like 20-year story. It's been trimmed twice in 20 years, and it's dying. It's like a third or a quarter of it's alive, and most of the weight is toward the bathroom, the city bathroom. They're not going to care for it. They can't. They can barely care for the garden now. Can the city take care of that tree?
I will look into that. I
Yeah.
don't believe that is
We'll have to
ours.
Look into it.
The city doesn't have any
the
ties to it.
agreement. The only agreement that I believe we have is with the restrooms and the building.
She couldn't tell me. I got the impression that they're 100% responsible, but it is the city's bathroom, and to me it looks like it's at risk to fall, the tree.
Yeah. It'd be something that we would probably turn over to code enforcement.
And then make the park do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make things hard, but it's a hard call. But I talked to her about it. She said her preference was to save it, and when that became a park, they had a tree expert come out because you don't find those trees very often in Oklahoma, this far south. I guess that's part of the problem. And then it's just,
The wrong tree, the wrong place.
and then it's been under cement for 20 years.
Oh,
You know, and
yeah, dying.
it is dying. Yes.
It's a shame.
I mean, even if it's trimmed up and it dies, it'll be less of a problem. If it dies trimmed up, then it's allowed to die without any care.
We will look at our agreement that we have with.
So if the
Apothecary
agreement says
garden,
no,
so
then that's just the way it is.
It is, yes.
I mean, I
Unfortunately.
suppose that's another
Unfortunately.
volunteer could team with the ladies, though.
Yeah, outside the city. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, just an
anyone outside the
independent
city
person
could volunteer with
ask
them
them
and do
if
that.
you wanna
The
help.
city
Well,
cannot work on private
but
property.
just look, it's intimidating the potential liability to be the one to work on it. I mean, you'd want someone who's
No,
bonded,
no.
and-
Maybe they could reach out to the master gardeners or.
well, but are they
They
gonna?
don't know how to trim trees.
I don't
probably.
know.
Is that what you're saying? You're afraid that it would be like a huge branch and it.
Right, to look
Yeah.
at it is, it's really
Right.
intimidating. I
There's-
mean,
Right.
I mean, there's professional tree service companies out there.
yeah,
that
but I
do
mean,
that
they don't
daily,
even,
so
they can barely care for the garden. That,
Maybe they reach out to them and see if they are willing, find a company that's willing to come in and
Donate.
donate time or help out with it,
Yeah.
possibly, so. The city cannot do anything on private property.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm an issue with the bathroom too. There used to be a volunteer who, Amy, who watered. She volunteered every Saturday, and she doesn't do it anymore. It was Sundays, but her hose would leak, and it leaked into the bathroom, the men's bathroom, and there's mold now there where the leak is, like by the toilet, and then where it curves at the wall. The sheetrock is molding.
Okay.
Oh, really?
We'll take a look at it and see.
We got a guy that's his area,
Yeah,
but
it's
we'll look into it.
Thank you.
building maintenance guy.
All right. If that is all the discussion for 8, we will go to staff report.
Okay, so what are we up to? Today, we had a meeting with wreaths across America. They're going to put wreaths on all of the veteran stones in the cemetery for Christmas. That's one thing. So,
That's it.
yeah, there's some
Stipulations.
Right.
There's a site out there you can go to. So roughly we have about 1,700 veterans buried out in our cemetery. It's wreaths across America. It's a really big thing if you look out and kind of research into it. Wreaths have to be sponsored. They're $17 a wreath. So again, we're in hopes that we can get
Full sponsor.
full sponsorship out there. Family members, anyone can go out and sponsor wreaths. You can sponsor multiple wreaths. If you have family members out there that you want to make sure that they receive one, you can sponsor that wreath. It'll be out there on our city website here shortly. There's a link where you can go and sign up and also volunteer to help on, I believe it's December 14th, to place these wreaths out on all the graves and stuff at the cemetery. So yes, it's a new thing. This is the first year. The boys, I think it's Boy Scouts, correct? Am I saying that right?
ROTC.
ROTC
Yeah.
is kind of behind this, so
Okay.
they're playing a big part of it.
Nice.
And they are desperate for volunteers and donations, so.
Yep.
Okay. Put the word out for that.
Right.
Sorry, didn't mean to jump in. I
that's
just want to make
all
sure
right.
it was
That's
clear
all right.
that
And is that
we're hoping that all 1,700 get sponsored.
I'm thinking it will.
is that something that we do every year with the same wreath, or is that
No.
raise the money each
They're
year?
fresh.
It's gonna be.
Are they fresh?
Fresh wreaths every
Wow.
year, yeah.
Yep.
That's the way
That's
I understood
incredible.
it.
They will stay on the graves for,
3 weeks to a month is what they
Yep.
Okay.
said.
and then
Which
we
is
will
winter time,
dispose
so,
of them.
Yeah,
no big deal.
fine.
If it was, mowing season, weed eating season, that might be a problem,
Yeah.
but it's perfect time, Chris.
Cool. That's awesome.
So, right now, parks guys and street department guys are out at our lakes, working on our dams, getting them ready. There's clearing the trees, grass. Let's see, what else? Okay, so upcoming stuff. Through the winter, when mowing season is over, hopefully it is, we'll be trimming trees in all your parks, clearing the trails. The trails need a lot of work, cleaning up, there's dirt over them and rocks and shrubs that are just coming out into it and stuff we haven't been able to get to because we're too busy mowing.
Is that Highland Park Trails?
Highland Park, and there's a lot of weed eating and edging and stuff to do in mineral wells on the trails too.
Mineral wells.
Yeah. All of our parks have got trees that are overgrown and need trimmed and stuff. It's just been.
We try to follow the same ordinance as we ask everybody else to. All trees are supposed to be trimmed up to 12 feet. So we try to follow what we ask all the citizens to do. So it does sometimes get away from us from time to time when crews are out mowing, and we try to do a lot of that type of cleanup work and stuff on our off season of mowing. Go in, remove our dead trees, trim up our trees in all of our parks, and kind of shape things up.
Yeah,
of
that was
nature.
that was my next. Is that we've been marking dead trees throughout all our parks to try and hopefully get all of them done this winter, get them out of there.
Yes.
So because they not only are they ugly, they're a hazard.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mhm.
Let's see, okay, down in the flats, right now we're installing new electric down there and water for, extra, say vendors or campers. That is thanks to the truck show. They donated $4,000 to us, so that's,
Great.
Was the city able to match any of that?
so far we're just using their money, but
It's great improvements down there. I mean,
it is much needed, really. That's about all I got right now.
Good. I let JB run with it this time, so.
Good? If there's any other discussion? No? All right, we'll call the meeting adjourned.